on it.
Here we go. We're live. Okay.
Oh,
Before it gets too crazy, we're all loopy over here.
that's right.
Not to get naked. Oh. Oh my goodness, I miss you.
Yeah.
We haven't seen each other for a while.
Yes, we've both been in detox.
It's been a rough couple of weeks. What does everyone think about that? I mean, well, it's really been a rough couple of 4 or 5 years, but these last couple of weeks really went took it to a whole nother level.
Trick or treat. No, I don't want it brighter. I'm ready to put me in the dark.
Oh, shoot, I don't even have mine on. God. Okay, here I am.
That's
sorry. Hello, everybody. Let's say hi to everybody. Who we got? Oh my goodness, we have Viviani. How are you? Viviani, thank you for being here, for being a moderator. Hi, Rooted Willow Readings. Peace Mama. I love that name.
Yeah.
Diane G.
Randy.
Another Diane. Annie Bear, how's it going? Annie Bear seeing
Rossi.
She's seeing angel flowers, angel clouds. I'm sorry, angel flowers. Oh my goodness. Rossi, I didn't see Rossi. Oh, hi Rossi. Hi Chrome Zone. Hi Priscilla. Hi Joyful Journey. Hi Randy. Randy, my buddy. Who else we got? Okay, Fatima.
Just punching around. I got the 3 of Cups. Just jumped right out of it. And honest, there's nothing in my cup but water and lemon. But
I was pulling cards earlier for us. Man, we got a lot to talk about. Okay, first of all, we had the summer solstice yesterday in the northern hemisphere. Here's where we're all at. Diana has done this show with Allie today about Lilith. And
Letha or Litha.
I always call her Lilith. I'm sorry.
No, that's talk to the hand, girl.
I know. And she's in play too. She is telling us, get your shit together. Excuse my language, oh boy. Here we go.
If you missed it earlier, or if you're wondering about it, in the southern hemisphere, it's Yule. For us, it's the solstice for summer. For them, it's the solstice for winter.
Mm-hmm.
So when they are celebrating the summer solstice, they will also celebrate Christmas, because Christmas is still in December, no matter which hemisphere you're in. That is a Christian holiday. But this is a pagan calendar. And so following the pagan calendar, the southern hemisphere is celebrating the opposite end of the wheel.
Okay.
Putting back together the duality, the polarity, the balance, right? The teeter-totter Libra balance.
Here we go, because it is a solstice, right? It's very powerful, like just the equinoxes and the solstice. Well, that what Diana showed you is the wheel of the year.
Yes.
The pagan. It's pagan wheel of the year. So there's cross. Is it cross quarter? How do they say it?
Well, this is a they're all fire festivals.
Okay.
This is a fire festival, right? Bonfires are such a good way to have a celebration, particularly in the days where you couldn't flip a switch and turn on the lights, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And some of the practices were the fire wheel. They would light a big old wooden wheel on fire and roll it down a hill to emphasize what the sun was doing as it crossed over the earth for the longest day. And then, of course, when it got to the bottom of the hill, they would let it continue to burn. And that's where they started the bonfire for the rest of the celebration. And the celebration usually goes on 3 days, because there's hanging. Everything. You've got that build up to get ready. And you know, girls, what it's like. We have the pre-party. Then we have the party. Then we have the after party. So, and it all comes down to Maiden Mother Crone. Here we are.
A lot of festivities too. A lot of partying, food,
Right.
stuff like
Now,
that.
this is not just the year, it's not just the celebration for the female entity, Danu, or any of the others who are celebrated at this time, because so many different cultures celebrate midsummer, the midsummer's eve. Egypt, South America, Mexico, the US, the Native Americans. There's, of course, the Druid and everything that has come consequently since. Solstice was changed by Christianity to be St. John the Baptist Day, bringing in the water element of the sun going into Cancer, because that's what marks it. And so all of the different structures over the world are designed so that on solstice, the center stage, the sun, is visible in between these two stones.
Yeah, it really
is. In between these two pyramids, right?
Right. Very cool.
Or at the top of Machu Picchu.
Right.
It's in the only time it's going to hit it is on the day of the solstice.
Perfect.
Whether it's the 20th, the 21st, the 19th, but it's generally juggling right in this time.
Yeah, it's perfect. And it always hits perfect. And those are ancient structures.
Right.
So when we come into Cancer season, the Earth is in Capricorn, because they're across the wheel of the zodiac, the chart. And, Cancer wants you to feel your feels, feel them all, get it right. And Capricorn standing there helping you stay mature about it. Okay, and this is always, I just got really bad chills, in the higher vibrations, right? Because it's really hard to face the inner demons, right? It's not easy. And we went through Aries, right? I am Taurus, I manifest. Gemini, right? Gemini was really, I felt more in Gemini season than I've felt even during that the eclipse season. And that was intense for me. But these last 2 weeks, oh my God, because it's helping you rearrange your thought process. Am I thinking the right way to go forward? Am I gonna just keep playing out the same old stupid shit? God, I'm sorry about the swearing today. Or am I going to really face myself, face my demons, and get my ducks in a row? So Saturn's here. Saturn rules Capricorn. Capricorn's here saying, here, let me help you. Let's look at this at a mature level. But we're at 1 degree. This is part 1. This is the first full moon in Capricorn. The second one is July 21st, and it'll be 29 degrees. Today is 1 degree. So we got 1 to 29, and we're going to travel this whole month being mature in how we handle our feelings about everything. It's really uncomfortable in Cancer. I'm a Cancer, and I'm going to tell you, I'm uncomfortable. But it started in Gemini for me. So
that's because your ruling planet is in Neptune, is in Pisces, and so it's like, what the I've gotten, where's my foundation?
Right.
Where are my boundaries?
Right. And speaking of Pisces, we got Neptune at 29 degrees Pisces, just sitting there, vibing it. You got to get to the bottom of whatever it is for you. And once you do that, release and you let it go, dream your biggest dream. It's here. It's all there for you. But we're not going anywhere with this. That Neptune 29 is going to go to 28, but it's going to stay 28, 29 until March. And then it's going to come back and forth. So this isn't a short stint.
No, that's the blessing of Saturn being there, because it is even though there are things shifting, it's like he's the bucket. He's still the formation. He is the bottom of the ocean. He is the edge of the shore. So he is still putting water in a container, even though he's in the right. He's in the thick of it himself.
Yeah.
A box inside water still holds water.
Yeah, true. And he's being restructured in Pisces. He's going through his own thing, because Saturn is usually, you know, earth sign, very stable and stuff. He can't have any stability in Pisces. He's trying to figure it out, but he is holding us as best as he can. And now that we're in Cancer season and Earth is in Capricorn, it is, to me, they're all working together. They're all trying to help us mold our new lives, this whole new collective, our new era, we're in this whole new thing, but we're in baby steps. We haven't even got out the doorway. And what'd you say about Sedna? What's she doing?
Oh, this is Care Bear. You know, I've been talking about her for a long time, right? So, and Sedna and Pluto are doing this cha-cha-cha. That's going to be lasting really through March of 2026.
See?
Okay.
We got a long way.
But so I looked at Sedna today, and then the same date every month till January. So right now we have Sedna at 0 degrees of Gemini, and we have Pluto at 1 degree of Aquarius. They're trying. It's less than a degree of an orb. So they're trying. That's a big support. What is Sedna about? Sacrifice and adaptation. And what is Pluto about? Integrity, particularly in Aquarius. How are you going to do this so that you save yourself as well as not destroy anything else? Right. Sedna's father ruined her life. He went home and regretted it, but it was too late. He lost his daughter. His daughter adapted. She became the queen of the sea, surviving just fine without daddy. Or the shape-shifting husband. Now, right now, today, we have the South Node, which is what to let go of, reflecting back to Sedna in a trine, and reflecting back towards Pluto in a supportive trine. Because now, remember, the nodes move in a retrograde fashion. So eventually, that South Node is going to be in a perfect trine, right?
Yep.
So in July, on the 21st, Sedna will be at 1 degree, and Pluto will be at 0 degrees of Aquarius.
Still together.
Still together. The same degree, only a few minutes changing in August. So whatever it is you are working on that no longer serves you, be it the new things that you've been trying out that are like, nah, this ain't going for me.
This isn't,
Yeah. And this is what the old stuff means to me. And this is why this is not going. There's importance in this, the value, the wisdom, the knowledge that it gave you. So all of this is going to continue. This cha-cha-cha is continuing. In September, Sedna is going to be at 1 degree and only 9 minutes. And Pluto is going to be at 29 degrees and only 44 minutes of Capricorn.
Yeah.
That's still orb to each other.
Yeah, still an orb.
So they're still doing a cha-cha. Honey, what do you want? I don't know, honey. What do you want? Well, let's just have a pizza. Okay.
And that's till 2026? That goes on till 2026.
This is going on, until 2026, when actually Pluto is going to start to move forward. Because he moves 20 years in a sign. She spends 40 years in a sign.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a long time. But what with that Pluto, right? Because Pluto it is ultimately, he is truth, integrity, authenticity. because he is motivating us to transform, to let go of what is not working anymore. And that's, it's kind of been a constant theme for these last couple of years, but it gets harder and harder as the tighter we hold on to what's not. So
by October, Sedna's retrograde. So in September, she's at 1 degree in a few minutes. But in October, on the 21st of October, she's at 0 degrees of Gemini in 57 minutes. So she's going backwards. So is Pluto. And he's at 29 degrees. So they're, even in orb, they're still keeping a pace with each other. Where's the buttons on your shirt? What is it? What are the details that are important to you? Like you may not have noticed, however, I'm going through things with my teeth. And last night, the temporary fell off of my tooth. And I got a hole in the front of my mouth. And it's like, are you kidding me? Anyways, that's a button I want buttoned.
Right. We all have some.
I can't keep my mouth shut. I'm a Gemini.
Well, but isn't this true though? Even if it's dental work or serious illness, it could be anything. Right.
Well, and where's Pluto in Capricorn showing you? And hopefully this is the end of it, because, he's working his way at getting back into Capricorn. So in November, he's at 0 degrees and 2 minutes of Capricorn, because in September, he goes direct again, right? End of September, he moves to go direct. So he gets to 29 degrees and 3 minutes of Capricorn, and then he's going direct.
Thank God.
Thank God.
Because that's all during an election that Pluto is in Capricorn.
Exactly.
September, October, November. It's going to be tough.
And that's the South Node lighting them up, because now the South Node is at 6 degrees of Libra, getting closer and closer to hitting them on the button, right?
Well, isn't January like so many? We got the nodes changing. We got so many things changing. It's really gonna be nice in January. Until then, we're what's a good word?
And
clearing out
on solstice in December. Sedna is at 0 degrees, still retrograde in Gemini. And Pluto has gone direct and is at 0 degrees.
Oh my God.
In Aquarius.
How cool. That is cool.
So they have an exact trine in through those days, right? And there we will have the South Node still in Libra, but the last of being in Libra at 2 degrees and 5 minutes of orb, because in January the sun will be at 2 degrees of Aquarius, Pluto will be at 1 degree of Aquarius, and Sedna will be at 0 degrees of Gemini. So that's going to be a big trine between Sedna, the sun, and Pluto, as well as the nodal shift, which happens on January 11th when they go into Pisces and Virgo, right?
So you see this cycle, right? It is serious, but we have time. We have things that we have, all these planets and these asteroids and all these points in the sky are helping us maneuver through things, feel through it. But Cancer's asking you this entire month is Cancer. It's about your feelings, and your feelings are your navigation system. But if you haven't been real with yourself, your navigation system can't work right. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then and we're going to go into Leo season next month, where it's about the heart. It's going to ask you. We're going to get to the 8-8 Lions Gate. I mean, we're in portals all the time now. I don't even try to. This is a portal. This is a huge portal because we have a solstice and a full moon within a day of each other. And then we're going to the end of, well, July 21st to another full moon in the same sign. I mean, that happens every year, but it's not the same sign. It's not the same time frame. Usually, right? I don't really remember. I don't know that for a fact, but it's not always Capricorn is what I'm trying to say. It could be any sign. So as we are going through all this, and we have that Capricorn stability helping us really get real with ourselves, so this month might be a little bit of a, emotionally sensitive.
Well, and Randy says, this is where I get confused. If we are creators, how does any of this matter? If I'm creating a new planet, am I creating a new planet? Yes.
Well,
yes,
but we're co-creating together, though. Those energies are here to assist us in any.
It's like all of it. It's all connected. It's numerology. It is astrology is akin to numerology. It's all math, and it is like reading tarot cards or oracle cards, or opening the Akashic record, or bringing in mediumship, or having visions and apparitions walk through your living room while you're, sitting and watching television.
Yeah. Lots of stuff going on. Spirit, everything, we're all connected. There's a huge, think of us as all energy bubbles, energy columns, right? Within energy bubbles and energy columns, within energy bubbles and energy columns, within, it's a nonstop. I mean, you're just, we're in a galaxy, there's energies flowing through here all the time. When we talk about the energies, like right now, we're talking about what is the flavor of the moment. What can you do with this energy to help you go forward with what it is your dreams about? So that stability with that. Well, I got this card when I pulled, it was Pluto, because Pluto is really sitting there going, let it go. Whatever it is, let it go so you can regain your power. Regain your power.
It's the synchronicity of it all, isn't it? I mean, it's all connected, and understanding the energy comes in many different flavors.
And you are a planet, Randy. Honest to God, all the planets are ascended beings. That's how I communicate with them.
Well, they're related to historic legends of gods and goddesses, creators, so.
But don't you believe that they're also ascending and they're also leveling up, going up the spiral too? I mean, we're all. So they're changing, we're changing, we're all forming this new earth, this new way of being a human on earth with but you're in a higher frequency, so you have the ability to use your gifts of your psychic intuitive gifts, your mediumship, all those healer abilities are coming in. That's why this has really taken off. Think about it, since 2012. All of us are remembering our powers, so this is helping us, but we can't utilize those powers 100% if we're holding on to stuff from the last 26,000 years that has been very traumatic and painful and dragging us down, and lifetime after lifetime being whatever. I mean, name it from A to Z. We've all experienced it, and we may not know what that details are, right? But we know that there's a wound there, and it got to go. And that's what we've been doing here. I mean, I'd say since 1987, it started out slow, but 2012 it ramped up. So once we understand that this is a process, we're changing, we're going into the golden age, we're changing from the Piscean age to the Aquarian age, which is a higher vibrating age, because that's what Aquarius is higher frequency, higher knowledge, understanding, but you don't want to take, a lot of people want to say Aquarians are cold. but we all have a heart. We all have feelings, you know. That's just one part of us. We're all 12 of these parts, plus God knows how many more. I don't even know. I don't know everything. I'd be the first one to tell you that.
What it is that Aquarians can detach.
Yeah.
Scorpios can detach.
Yeah,
That's not cruelty. That's protection.
That's protection. Trust me, I have Aquarius rising. I am easily, I got my boundaries, you know, but because I feel so deeply as a Cancer sun and a Leo moon that I'm like, oh, you're freaking me out, you know. So I got that Aquarius over there going, don't have to involve.
Taurus is another fixed sign, but he has a hard time detaching because he's ruled by Venus.
Mm-hmm. True.
The reason why that Aquarius can do it is because it's an air sign, and it absorbs, and it just, you know, it's the water bearer. It absorbs only to dump it out. So he's able to detach. And Scorpios, they're just on this, that ain't going to get to me. I'm not going to let it get to me. Right. And I can keep it a secret and not let it get to me.
And Scorpio is a water sign. Okay, so their feelingness is deeper than probably any other sign. And we all have Scorpio in our chart. So I'm not, you know, saying this is their special or anything.
This is not judgment, a bad sign or a good sign. No.
Right.
Just and better ways and different ways of dealing with the same empty pot of stew. You know, how do you scrub the pan when you're done?
And depending on where it is in your chart, where Scorpio is, right, you have that ability to feel it, let it go, feel it, let it go. But, you know, you may have other things in other parts of your charts where you feel everything and you can't stop feeling it, you know. Charts are really, and that's why while we're talking about charts, you know, we're born, or each of us have our individual divine blueprint. Right. No two charts are alike. But the planets are constantly moving. So this is why Diana and I do readings, because 20 years ago, the planets were in a different place. Today, the planets are here. How does that mesh with your chart? What is it trying to say to you? What's the message?
When you were born, that's your blueprint. Those planets don't move. How does what's out there now affect where your blueprint is? Right. And you know, most of us have had to take the Briggs-Myers test at one point in time or another. Well, guess what? The Briggs-Myers is your moon, your sun, and your rising sign. Just put in a different light. Carl Jung was an astrologer. He was an astrologer before he was a psychologist. He was a mystic.
That was very common back then until recently, where they wanted to take astronomy and make it separate from astrology. It's not separate. You know, they wanted to say, oh, they're crazy. Those ones are crazy.
Astrology came before astronomy. Astronomy was birthed out of astrology. And they aren't exactly the same, but but they are, you know. They don't have the casting that astrology works with in astronomy. Astronomy is now just the scientific view of it all.
Yeah. And there's a lot of astrologers who are very scientific. They don't bring in their psychic abilities. They don't bring in their intuition.
Right.
That's what makes people like Diana and I different. You know, we can really read those energies, and guide you and help you go to your next best step. That's what astrology is all about. Here's where your planets are. Here's where the outer planets are, the planets now. What's it saying? Where's my next best step? And that's because I'm not going to sit there and say, oh my God, you got this square and it's just awful. No, because there's a lot more good in that chart than there is
Right.
Challenges. We are always going to be challenged. We're always going to struggle. I mean, while we're in this third dimension at the end of an age and going
Right.
into a new age, we came here for this.
So Care Bear has a good description here about Taurus. Yes. Think about Ferdinand the Bull. You know, he just sits down and says, "No, I'm not doing it.
Not doing it.
No,
Not doing it.
I
I'm
he
sorry. I
can
didn't
detach,
say
but
that.
you know, he hides it a little bit more."
Okay, here we go. Well, heavenly blessed honey is a Scorpio moon. See, you know. Those moons, we got those water sign moons, you know, and it's all this combination of who you are, though. This is a combination. This is your,
Oh,
this is
yeah.
today's chart, but this is a combination of today's chart. So I look at all those things, and Diana looks at all those things, and we sit here and we go, oh boy, wow, it's going to take some time. We're going to work through it.
I can understand your Taurus moon and rising because my Mars is in Taurus in the 8th house at 29 degrees. He don't want to move. He ain't going nowhere. He'll do 50 other things rather than the thing that needs to be accomplished.
That he has to, right? And that's okay, right? We all have that block. We're hitting that wall all the time. And that's why these transits matter. This is why these moons, these solstices, these eclipses all matter, because it helps you. It's a time, space and time that can help you punch through that.
Yep.
Punch through it. Go through it, get through it, because you don't always get it. We don't do it just one time and done. Right. I know I've done things 100 times, and I'm like, oh my God, am I still dealing with this crap? You know.
And Peace Mom is talking about Shirley MacLaine. She was phenomenal. Yep. Yeah. Read the book. Read her books. Watch her programs that are out there. It's so nice to see her, even though she's no longer with us. So.
Yeah. Shadow work is deep, man. I've been doing shadow work, I swear, since I was born.
Yeah, the Book of Shadows, exactly. Cool. And you're never finished with shadow work, because just the planet shifts and it just reminds you, don't forget about the dust in this corner. It keeps coming back. Mm-hmm. Did you ever notice that the dust bunnies multiply in the places you don't look?
Yes.
And before you know it, the dust bunnies have grandchildren. I don't even want to look under my bed.
and I agree, and as we rise up out of the third dimension and into a higher frequency, that I think will lighten up, because we shed all that toxicity, all that pain, that trauma, last 26,000+ years. I don't even know how long. And we create ourselves anew.
Yeah.
But we have to do this work, and we still got 6 months.
Yeah.
At least.
Well, and
this is the last the density of this next 6 months.
Thinking back to what Randy had said, is I am creating a new universe. Yes, but or a new planet rather. Yes, but you can't do it alone, because when you say I am, you are standing in the energy of Aries.
And she is an Aries.
The thing about Aries is he can't do anything by himself, because what does Aries control? He controls the cerebral mind and the eyebrows and the vision, but he can't move the hands because he don't have any. This is what he's got, is the mind. So he sends the signal to the hand to go and do the thing. Or he sends the signal to the mouth, to the Taurus, to move the jaw to eat the food for nutrition, or to other parts of the body to make the legs move, the organs to work. And the same thing when it comes to Leo. So many people think Aries and Leos are so self-centered. No, they're not. And they know it. Leo can't work without the mind. The mind can't work without the heart. And then put the kidneys in it.
Yeah.
Because the body needs the kidneys. And one is fire and one is water. And that's how you make a boiler. You need the fire and the water in order to make the steam to make it get going.
Mm-hmm. And that's why every single one matters. Every single aspect, every single planet. Now, they don't even consider Pluto a planet anymore, but astrologers do.
But
you're not going anywhere without Pluto. If you're
they
not
had
doing
this
Pluto,
argument back in 1933, and they claimed it was, and now they're going to say it's not, when Eris, who is a smaller planet than Pluto, is now being called a planet, but Pluto's not. Pluto's only a dwarf. A dwarf what? A dwarf planet.
Yeah.
So how does that change?
Well, see, if they know the astrology, let me just give you a little inside.
Oh, yeah.
We do the astrology for the highest vibration of unconditional love and truth. There are those who do not do the exact opposite. So this is kind of why we've been in this situation for 26,000 years. If you want to get into it, that's the deep realness of it. But that no matter what they do, no matter how much darkness they try to throw in here, we are still evolving because we're raising in frequency, because we are unconditional love and truth, and more and more and more of us are remembering that. And that's that 29-degree Neptune is going to be there for about 2-3 years, almost back and forth over top of it, and it's going to help awaken people and connect them back to their hearts. There's going to be a lot of delusion, illusion, and crap like that, but we've been seeing that since Neptune went into Pisces in 2012, was it 2011, 2012. So these things take time. We're talking outer planets that are very slow. Pluto's got 248-degree orb. Neptune, 165 year orb around the sun. So, we've never been here before. This is the very first in this lifetime that Neptune's going to be at 29 Pisces, last degree of the zodiac, the last degree. It's telling us that all that shit prior is done. Mm-hmm. It's going to be done. Are you going to wake up and face it? Are you going to see the reality of it? Are you going to see you need each other? Because if we don't work with each other in peace and harmony and unconditional love and truth, where are we going? We don't want to recreate what we just got out of. What we're not even out of it yet, So that's how I'm seeing it. That might be a little dark, and I'm sorry. I don't mean to be dark, but it's what we came here for. We signed up for this stuff at soul level, at a soul level.
Consider the universe is not expanding. It's our recognition of all of what is in the universe is expanding. I mean, we haven't even talked about Haumea or Farquhar. What's the planet's name? The other planets that are out past the Kuiper Belt, that are in the Oort cloud. There's so much more out there than, and they all have stories, because they're named, now they're being named according to Hawaiian legend and the legends of the Philippines and Australia and other parts of the world, because it's no longer Greek mythology or Roman mythology and the men of the era being the dictators of how this is going to go. When you think back how many centuries astrology has been in play.
Mm-hmm. Thousands of years, thousands. That's the first science ever. They were looking up in the sky.
The Druids, you think about it right now. Mm-hmm. They weren't even actually looking at it as astrology, but they're studying the sun and the moon and how it travels. And they mark their seasons and when to plant and when to harvest, not only by when it's ripe, but what's going on with the weather and the sun and the tilt of the earth, which is something that hasn't changed. Now, all of that translates to math, and math is numerology, and there's a numerical solution for every question that you have out there. Mathematical answers are available, and a number transfers to a frequency, a note, and a note is a frequency, and a frequency is a vibration, and on and on, and the universal laws, and on and on. So we're all just so bloody connected.
We are. And there's so many divination tools to help us understand all of this, like Diana just was saying. Everybody, please look at what Rossi wrote here. She wrote, "Hello, everyone. Liz in awe has been in a hospital in Mexico. Her friend has set up a GoFundMe to help the hospital bills. The GoFundMe is in Mexican pesos. Any amount can help." Rossi, can you link that in here? Do I need to make you a
thank you. Yes.
And thank you.
Needs all of our prayers for sure.
Yeah.
It was a shock. She certainly didn't expect to end up in
right.
That. Which happens so often, right?
Right. And that's part of this energy, right? We're all being shocked into, you know, whatever is inside of us that needs to heal, whether we're aware of it or not.
And that's what this Sedna Pluto cha-cha-cha is all about. And when you throw the South Node in there and the North Node, because don't forget the North Node, where the South Node is trining, the North Node is sextiling. So it's all in there working together to help us feel better about the miserable things that can come our way, regardless of what we know, what we do, how we pray, how we shine our light. Right.
Okay, so Randy, so have our souls zillions of years. You're eternal. You're an infinite being of unconditional love, a spark of the divine. You change. You just drop forms and change wherever. Yeah. I mean, we probably have billions of planets we can visit, or realms, or dimensions, and it goes on. I mean, we don't die. We don't die.
There's a book. It's called Zephyr Ratziel. It's the Archangel Ratziel handed down the book to, oh gosh, I've got it upstairs. Who did he give it to? I've forgotten. Solomon. I've forgotten. And in it is astrology, numerology, and 2 or 3 other sciences, and writing, and how to do this, and this is how this works. This is how it all works together. Now, there's been dispute over this book. I've got a copy that goes way back, and the original is locked up in the Vatican. But in it are the tools that we are using today, and where its foundation was way, way back when we think back to the stories of the giants that they talk about that walked the planet, and the Hopi prophecy, and how Danu and the Hopi prophecy and the giants of Mesopotamia all seem to mesh together to the same story that ends up in this big flood. That all these different cultures who had no idea that the other part of the world was existing have a similar relative story.
Yeah. And structures, right? They didn't know, unless there's a lot we aren't being told, which I don't put that past the powers that were, right? So we are here kind of riding blind in a lot of ways. That's why we really need to reconnect to our intuition, because they have those old powers successfully disconnected us from our hearts and our intuition and our in a lot of respects, you know, especially in this new modernized world. People don't even know how powerful they are. So here we are, we're remembering, and it isn't, I'm not saying hate them. I send them love all the time. You know, it's not about hating them. It was something we chose as a soul, as the best I can understand it. And here we are playing it out on a soul level. I mean, imagine the different oh my God, there's so many different planets. You could be from Arcturus and Andromeda, and you could be Sirian. I mean, you could have played out lifetimes for infinity. I mean, that's what we're doing, you know. So, and I feel though that a lot of us are soul family. That's why we know each other or have met each other now, especially at this point in time on Earth, where we are spiraling up, you know, and that frequency is changing. So, you know, so glad to see you all again. And who knows how I know you from before, or Diana, and you know, it's just, but I know I am connected to you. I feel it, you know, it's so cool. And there is, right, there's, I guess that's the point of it too, Randy, is the mystery. If we
Right.
knew what we were coming into, it wouldn't even be, would be like, oh, I
Right.
know what it is, you know.
And so where is your star seed? That's another strain of astrology.
Right.
Okay, if you have this in your chart, you came through Andromeda. And if you have
Exactly.
this in your chart, you came through the Pleiades. And if you have this, so you're a star seed with all of this in your chart. One of those is your father, and one of those is your mother. You're Lucy, if you will, like the planet has one Lucy, that one mother that reflects all of us. What did I just do? So that all of our DNA is a part of Lucy.
Mm-hmm. And it just goes on and on. But we came here for this ride, and this ride is about to get really real, because here we are at that pivotal time period of, I don't know when it ends. I don't know when we transition from Piscean age to the Aquarian age. There's no way to really determine that, or at least my knowledge, I can't determine that. But you look it up, and they can't determine it either, the astronomers or astrologers. So, in fact, astronomers don't even discuss it, you know, astrologers do. So here we are.
Unless it's
Feeling,
on the side.
yeah, right. Here we are feeling through it and having to go with those gut instincts, those intuitive nudges. And as you know, we got so many things going on at one time. We're dropping what no longer serves us to go forward, to figure out where it is. What I feel that as we go through these changes this next few months, right? We're going to be, well, we're already divided into camps. There's just some people are not going to ascend. That's not their soul's path, and that's not right or wrong or bad or good. It's just what that soul's choosing. Um, those of us who are, I don't know what that really looks like on the other end, but I feel it feels very high vibrational, and it feels very peaceful, you know. So I don't know. Here we are. But prepare ourselves, our bodies, our minds, our emotions for whatever is coming up in the future. That's why Diana and I sit here and talk about this stuff, because here's another tick in on the clock, right? And if we can utilize this energy to the best of our ability, none of us are going to be perfect, then we're going to slowly get up that on that trajectory that we are, our souls are nudging us to, you know. That's why it's also a good time to this month especially, I would say, go inside, really go inside, get connected to your spirit team, your heart.
Yes, Rossi, if you are referring to the star seed, yes, there's a different set of charts that you look at and to see how far out this has come from. But it's a degree, and it is where this is located and what planet it is. All of those things meshing together tell you which direction it came. Because if we think of this whole great big orange universe, let's consider it's a great big huge orange.
Oh my goodness.
And the orange has wedges inside. And inside those wedges are curds, and those curds hold juice. And so it's just a whole mathematical way of coming up with a pinpoint that, oh, well, that's where you stood and such a day at such and such a time. So if you were there then, that energy kept coming this way. This is your star seed. And so I have a couple of different factors in my chart that show Lemuria and Beetlejuice. And see, I don't do this stuff every day with that, but so I can't even, not Andromeda, Pleiades. Thank you. And so when you, thinking Beetlejuice, he's getting ready to explode, which means they've decided that, you know what? We're about to see the explosion. He's so far out there. He exploded 2,000 years ago. We're just getting the explosion.
Right. Maybe even longer than that.
Is that where I was? Well, and it would make sense that I came from Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice. Elaine.
I know I'm from my last place. I was from Andromeda, but we come in through the central sun, to the planet, into our mother's body. We come through the thing. Randy, all animals will ascend, first of all.
Yeah.
And you want to go, and I get it. I want to go too. But the more we have that need to go, I gotta get out of here, because I do it. I get really down into it and feel through it. But my guides tell me, it's a process. It's a process.
Yep. Drops in Jupiter. Yep, I can understand. Congratulations for your daughter there.
Peace, Mama. Yeah.
Yeah.
First pretty to awesome.
Arrive. That's it's quite a feeling when you're able to help somebody.
Yeah. It's amazing. I was visiting inline. Must be nuts. What? Oh, I was visiting. Yeah, I have said that to myself, Denise, a million times. What in the hell was I thinking? But see, then you get connected to your team, right? Your higher self, and you get a little bit more information. They don't give you all of it, but they'll give you a roundabout. Here's what you were. Like, why did I go through everything I went through? Why did you go through everything you went through? What was the point of any of that?
Right.
And because
and boy, you've been through some stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody. We all.
Yeah, all of us.
First of all, we came through that birth canal.
Yeah. and then
as hard as it is on the mom, it ain't easy on the kid either.
No.
Come out with misshapen heads and
I mean, it's a trip. Can you imagine giving birth 10,000 years ago out in the damn cold in a cave? No, but we probably did. So this is what I'm saying. There's so much more to this story than any of us know, right? But here we are at this pivotal point, going, okay, I had all these experiences. What is it? And okay, it's basically we got two choices: fear or love. So where are we going? And what does your heart say? With that Venus, let's talk about that Kazemi a little, not far too long ago. When that Venus went into the sun, that was another chance for us to get aligned with what it is we love and value, and only focus on that. Don't focus on any of that crap out there, because they're trying to drive us crazy. As they're in their death throes. They're losing their power, but they're not going to go away. Oh, here you go. See, that's not going to be a nice transition. So it is focus on your heart, focus on the love that you are, and I send love out all the time, because I can't solve all the world's problems. It affects me. I'm a Cancer. I'm like, God, Jesus, every day I feel like I'm being ripped open. And it took me a long time to get to a place where I could even just discuss it without crying, and here I am. But the astrology got me to that place. Because then I understood more. Then my guides came in, then information came in, right? So, but that's their whole game. They want you in misery and so distraught and distorted and divided and hateful, that just fuels their agenda, so if go ahead, you say it.
Well, no, I was just reading in the chat here, and I was making a mental note to chat with Maru over here, because she says she's talking about her cone head and
oh goodness,
having nightmares of being crushed. My mother, my grandmother lived to be 102 years old. So when my grandmother gave birth to my mother, she did it on the kitchen table, the dining room table.
I can't even imagine.
Okay. Well, she pushed. I mean, it was a terrible birth. My grandmother, who came from a family of 16 kids, only had one child, because she was in her 30s when she had my mother. She was already 30, 36 maybe. And the cord was wrapped around my mother's neck. My mother could never wear anything on her neck because she always felt like she was being choked.
Oh my God.
She had extreme claustrophobia.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say extreme, but there were moments where she would just go, I'm so claustrophobic. I got to get out of this room. I can't stand here. I got to, and it was all goes back to that cord being wrapped around her throat for such a laborious amount of hours.
Right. And my Mercury's in Cancer too, Care Bear. Oh my God, I got it. I mean, I got it hard there, but yeah, Care Bear says here she would have died with her twins if it wasn't for modern medicine. I had my youngest son was 1 pound 6 ounces, and he would have died without modern medicine.
And not to be political, but that's the stuff that they're trying to take away from us.
Yep.
No medical care.
Yep. No,
are you kidding me?
Go back to the old ways, right? Not happening. Bees, bitches. Don't give me someone start swearing again. Not happening. But see, that's all going to come out to play right in November. That's what this is all this build up for. Because once we get stabilized in who we are, when they try to come for us during this whatever election, whatever you want to call it, is and try to disrupt the freedoms that we're used to as they're slowly taking them away. That's got to blow up. It's got to blow up. It's not going to be pretty, but we got to have our freedoms, or we're not going far.
That's us, ladies.
That's us. Yeah, it is. Hi, Sherry. Voices from the sun. Leah. Hi, Madam Maru's House of Cards. Heavenly Blessed Honey. Care Bear. Let me make sure I say hi. Amanda Carroll. I know a lot of you came in, and I'm over here just Silver Star Priestess. Hi. It's this is for our benefit. All this that's been going on since 2012 is for our benefit, and it's not easy. I was so blown away the last 2 weeks of the things that were coming out of me again. The
toxins.
The toxin. I was doing a detox, right? As the detox was going on, so were other things being released out of me that I thought I'd already released. I don't even know what they are. Just extreme sadness, extreme. I was just like, oh my God, why am I here? What am I doing? Going back into it, and I mean, I feel better now, but it took 2 weeks, because I'm trying to reset my metabolism. Because everything we ingest is designed to mess your hormones up, right? Diana is really good with all this stuff and nutrition and stuff, because I mean, all of our foods contaminated our water, our air, our soil. So we could go on, right? All of this got to change. We're just coming out of all of the, I don't know how, I hear it's going to be fast. It's not going to be as, once we get over this hump here.
Yeah.
But this hump, it's definitely 6 months out, but it's going to go on. It's going to be rebuilding process for years after that.
But it's a week away from being July. So it's only 6 months out. Can you believe it's no longer Christmas? Here we are celebrating solstice.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to take this off. It's just sitting there. And it's bugging me. I'd rather look at that. But, I mean, time is going by so fast.
Yeah, it is. And that's part of the ascension. That's part of this. That's part of the frequency. As that frequency increases, time is no longer what it used to be. And we got these busy lives, right? We're doing things we don't really notice, but we're like, man, what the hell happened? I've been noticing this for quite a while, and I'm like, wow, I wish I knew all the details.
It's not that solar flares are something new. It's just been identified to the general public and accepted by people like us who are going, there's something else going on here that we don't understand, that we don't know about. Instead of just being this hidden science. Well, did you know that the wind comes from the sun? It's every time the sun shoots off something, that's what causes the wind. Well, there hasn't been any other windy days in your life, but the ones over this past couple of years, not true. So if that's been going on for a long time, right, our ability to measure it is really what has changed. And our ability to identify it to the general public so that we all have a better understanding of what we're under and a better understanding of what's been lost, the plasma that used to protect us. They talked about the ozone. Well, we've repaired the ozone, but they never said nothing about the plasma that disappeared that used to protect us,
And see, they know what these are heartless, soulless beings that have had control. Now, I know I'm going to sound crazy right now, but I don't care. For the last 26,000 plus years, and they want you to suffer. That's my only conclusion. That's if you're going to destroy the plasma around the planet, the soil, the water, the air, there's no other excuse, for money and power. And you have to, no human with a heart and a soul would do that.
Right.
It doesn't make sense to crap where you eat. Doesn't make sense, does it? So I have to, and my guides have talked extensively with me, because I didn't believe that at first. I was like, no, everybody has a heart and a soul. It says so in the Bible, right? They're like, not true. And there are those who don't have.
We call it still life, but even a rock has life. It changes. Right. Well, it takes it a lot longer because it's a lot more dense. But the pressure upon it from above, all the different layers of earth and sediment and heat from the inside, heat from the outside, all of that really comes into play in changing the life of the rock.
And they're elementals. So the elementals are a lot. They dipped. Yeah. They got the hell out of Dodge because they were targeted, also. And here they're just coming back in and they're helping us. There's many people I read for who are, elemental stewards of the land, of the sky, of the sea. I mean, just we all have our thing. But they saw the darkness come in, and they saw the destruction they laid, and they laid waste to it, But they haven't won, and they're not going to win. But I don't want to be a fear monger.
They just continue to think that we can use it, and because it's so what? Now we can just frack it. We'll frack it and we'll get it.
No, it's causing
There
earthquakes.
are already fragile plates out there that are shifting all the time.
And this is all for money and greed and power, so that's gonna be there, and let's say this about this Capricorn bookend full moons on 1 degree to 29 degrees for this month. This is going to expose a lot of this the powers that are leaving, the nastiness that they've been doing.
Oh, Randy is saying she talks to the rocks. I never know if there is a soul in there. Well, think about the energy that you feel. To me, there's a soul. I feel the energy. We're aware of the energy. Definitely, there's a soul in there. It just speaks in the frequency of.
Do you know how fast this is vibrating?
Yeah.
It's seemingly solid, like my desk or this laptop, right? It's vibrating so fast to become what? Oh wow, what it is. It's just. It's
right.
mind blowing. It's mind blowing.
And it's emitting love. It's emitting support. It's emitting support and energy and protection, just like we who recognize a human being has a soul is doing the same thing. My wooden table used to be a tree. It has a soul. And how many people sat around it before it became mine? Because it's a Stickley Brothers antique from 1925. So, we all grab furniture, and it used to be, and what it was is still in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's energy from that tree, from all everything we've ever built out of. And then we started to make plastics, and look what that did. There's no soul in plastic. There's a lot of toxins in plastic that has contaminated. I mean, we all have microplastics in us now. Every baby born has microplastics in them. Yeah. I mean, that's effed up. Okay. I mean, there's nothing else to say about that. All because of, and the same thing, this is what gets me. They banned hemp in 1860 because one of I'm sorry, I can't remember which one was the oil baron. He wanted to use the leftover stuff from the oil to make pharmaceuticals and to make rope and to make plastics. So they banned hemp, which we ate. The animals ate. This is how we started to get sick with real bad illnesses and stay healthy. We weren't this sick before. We didn't have all these cancers and all these things.
Virginia farmers grew hemp to make rope.
Exactly. It was all other things. All clothing, everything was made from hemp. But that still pertains to today. You can make this laptop out of hemp. You can make this table out of hemp. You can make anything.
Look at all the biodegradables that are now being made out of soybeans.
Yep.
Thank you, George Washington Carver, for all the work that he did.
Absolutely. It's insane what we've done to Mother Earth. Well, we didn't do it, but we didn't know that they were that nefarious, right?
Right.
Leah says she has most of her planets near. I'm sorry about your cat, Leah. I'm sorry. I know I miss my buddy. I had to put him down. That's July.
When I pulled the white dragon for you, that was exactly who I was thinking.
That's what I was thinking too. I was like, "There's my baby." Oh man, I could cry. That's my boy. But he's always here. What does it mean when most of the planets in the chart are further near the 20? Now, 29 is a critical degree, 0 and 29. Okay, they're degrees that are, they're master degrees, but they're challenging degrees because 0, you're starting at the beginning of that. At 29, you have all that understanding and knowledge of that sign, wherever it is in that house. But I'd have to see your chart to see, having higher degrees is usually a more mature person.
It's going to be a while, but my Uranus is in Gemini at 29 degrees. And Uranus is in Taurus at what degree right now?
And she'll have a Uranus return when she's 84.
Yep. And is at 25 degrees of Uranus right now. So it's in that third, it's in that half of a sextile. So it's 30 degrees apart. It's that, all right, here we are. We're bookending for you. We're getting ready. Here we are. We're in that bookend. Right. So
yeah. And that's what I was saying about the bookend, right? This is going to expose a lot of stuff this month. Get ready to see it start shooting off. Like, and people are going to be upset because they've been duped. We've all been duped. We've all thought these people in power were there to support us, but they didn't learn.
Right. Yeah. So when Mars was sitting on my Mars, and when Mars was back when Mars was in Taurus, there were days that stubborn me. So I'm doing it today, and I'm doing it your way.
I'm glad you brought that up, Diana. Mars is at 9 degrees. Taurus. That's a deciding degree. I'm deciding I'm going to do X, Y, Z, and Mars is the one that does it. Motivates us to do it.
Right. So when we think of the degrees, we should think of it in 10-year increments as to maturity. So think about what you were like when you were 9 years old. What was your maturity level? That's what a 9-degree planet is. When the 9-degree planet is at 19 degrees, what was your maturity like? How responsible, how ready were you to take on responsibility? Once you get to the end of the sign, then it's like, well, you're mature. And so once you're mature, you're just mature, right? My grandmother was 30 years older than my mom. And the year my mom turned 60, my grandmother turned 90. We had a huge party, and Nana stood up and gave a toast and said, well, Flo, 30 years don't seem like such a big deal anymore, does
it? Hi, Erin. I know. And these are the people that, for 26,000 years, it's been the people who've grown the food, who's made the clothes, who made the things, who did the stuff, right? And believed that those that were in those higher positions were supporting them. Yeah, and it's true. Earthlings need to act like we. And see, that's just it. This is what I'm trying to say. Those that have the power, which is a very small, minute, and they have all the power and all the money, they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit because they don't care if it blows up.
Right.
And this is who's getting removed out of here because they can't exist in higher vibration. So this is why Mother Earth decided to raise in vibration, and we decided to come along for the ride because as she does, they cannot exist. They can't exist in a higher vibration of unconditional love and truth. Let's just use truth. We don't even have to use love because that's the last thing they are is truth. They are liars and fear mongers, and look what they've done. But that doesn't mean that we're just at the beginning stages of understanding what's happening, what really happened. But we can heal. Mother Earth can heal. We can raise in vibration and all heal. And that's why it's been so important that we go through these dark nights of the soul and shed all this density and and pain and trauma and all the things we went through on a soul level in 26,000 years,
And Erin, that is a part of the Hopi prophecy.
Mm-hmm.
This is one Earth, and the selected few that become the ant people that go underground while there's an Earth-like destruction that goes on. Wait for it to dry out before you come up. Wait for the fires to die down before you come back up out of the ground. And then propagate. So that similar story, we're in the fifth world. We're at the end of the fifth world and getting ready to do it again. And we hear it all the time. We see it in the daily behavior of some of the bad players that stand in control or think they do.
And see, that's just it, right? How many people, how many of us have been awakened since or before 2012? Now, I'd say most of us here have awakened a lot sooner than the ones coming behind us. That's no judgment. It's just when it was supposed to. They're going to, and the more of us who understand what was really going on, and I can't even be mad anymore. What am I going to be mad? What, fighting them the way that they fight will get us nowhere. We fight with love. We don't fight with hate, right? So that, as we all wake up, they're going to have to just, we're the ones raising the frequency. They will dissipate.
Leah says, seems like going out of the Piscean age, is the shroud is lifting. Yes, it is. We know how to create the cloak of invisibility. Think of Harry Potter. I know how to make myself invisible. When I'm in a crowd, I know how to be not.
Yeah, me too.
Learned that trick a long time ago.
Yeah, and we got these powers. You can make yourself invisible. You can direct the weather. You can. You know, I know I've done it with hurricanes, but I'm sure I'm not the only one that was doing it. You know, there's a lot of people who understand these. You have that power in you. If you know how to utilize your power, you can do things that have been hidden from us. We've been told, oh, that's impossible. Oh, there's no such thing as magic. They call it magic, but what it really is energy, it's frequency, it's vibration. You know, we believed them.
We have a different power, and we have to trust in our different power.
Yeah.
In ourselves, in our light, in that power that is given to us, because we know the trick of the cloak of invisibility.
And there's so many others, right? Look, my goodness. Well, we could go on and on. We're going to have to do a magic energetic show one day. Talk about that.
Well, because I have a story from yesterday, right? So.
Oh, yeah. Say it. Tell us. I know it.
Okay. Another gift that I found out I had a very long time ago was holding back the weather. Not changing it, just being able to hold it back.
Hold it back, right.
And yesterday, I had an outdoor event that I was reading cards for. And it started later in the day, and a big storm brewed up. It was expected, and it was supposed to hit us. In fact, the police department called us and told us to get under the shelter, that blah, 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 blah. Well, I just threw one hand in one direction and threw the other hand in another direction. And my brother's there helping me set things up, and he's got the app out and he's watching the clouds, and everybody's like, no, it's going to rain, it's going to rain. And I kept saying, no, it's not. And I kept holding my hand and holding my other hand and doing the things, all the energy things that we all know how to do. Don't be embarrassed by it. Ritual is important. These symbols and energies, and knowing how to channel the energy of a crystal to be able to throw that out of my pocket up there into the sky to help hold it back. When he was all done, and he was such a naysayer, I was like, oh my God, he's making it even harder for me to hold this up.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Stop it, right? Everybody got done, and they all came over at one point or another. And my brother just sat there and said, I watched my sister hold back the weather.
I know. I mean, it's crazy. And when you're like, I can't believe I'm doing this, because I know this is a hurricane. I'm on the East Coast, so I've had to do this a few times with hurricanes.
Yep. It's okay. You can rain, but please, not here. Please, not here. And the universe was willing to cooperate because there were plenty of other places around where we were that were hotter because they were exposed. We're under the trees at an outdoor event in a nice park, and they just couldn't believe it wasn't falling on us.
That is so cool. That is so cool. And that's what we're all remembering. These are the things we're remembering.
Yeah.
We don't need rulers. We don't need, if you're coming from the truth of your heart, you wouldn't abuse another. You wouldn't take from another.
That's right.
Right.
Madame Maru, there was a tornado heading straight for her boyfriend's house. So she started praying to the angels. And I saw the storm split in half. And that's exactly what happened yesterday. And they couldn't believe it. It's like, no. Is it like, how did...
Yeah.
And he kept saying, but this cloud is twisting this and this cloud. And like, stop.
I know it, Rossi. That's what's happened. I know a whole bunch of us are doing it when it's going on. I know it.
Right? It's like if you put the beaters in the flour and the liquid is out there, it's all going to go boom. If you put them in and turn it on high, it's just going to be an explosion. But if you turn them on slowly and use a spatula and blend it up a little bit by your own hand and pull that silver thread out and throw it back up there it's just chemistry in the kitchen.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, we think, oh my God, I got my psychic abilities. I got my healing abilities. We're not even close to having all the abilities we have.
To stay in the ocean. I love that, Rossi.
What'd she say?
She's working on pushing a hurricane last year to stay out and not hit land. I guess a whole bunch of us were doing the same thing since the hurricane stayed. And that's it. I didn't do it alone because I'm sure everybody there was like, oh God, no. Don't let it hit. No, not now. We need this, blah, blah, blah. So it wasn't my energy alone. It was the ability to pull from everybody else's deepest wish, deepest hope.
Because they don't want that. We don't want destruction. Right. We're going to be with Allie at 9:00 on my channel tonight.
Oh my gosh.
So come back and visit with us. I just want to see something here. Silver Star, I will tell the universe. Somebody said when I want it to rain, I'll wash my car. Absolutely. You know how that shit works. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's usually the day I go wash it too.
It's nuts. But so we're learning that we can manipulate these energies, these frequencies, these vibrations, and imagine if we all know these secrets and we all understand. It doesn't have to be a secret. It's not even supposed to be a secret. It was cut off from us. So it's part of our natural abilities. But the density was so thick on third dimension, it made it extremely hard. You had to get your stuff lined up. You had to have more things to make magic, right? And usually it was, there was a lot of good magic. I'm not saying that, but the darker, nastier stuff was easier for some. And they took advantage of it and manipulated it. But we're going to get all that back. And that's why we coming into this time period, it's important to know who you are, what you're capable of, what is your deepest desire, your deepest wish. I want everyone to live in peace and harmony. I don't even know what I want for myself. I just do what I do. I love astrology. I love magic. I love playing with my granddaughter. I love talking to Diana. I don't really have a focus, So I think that'll all come more into our awareness as we go through, you know. We're still shedding. Unfortunately, I have to say it like that. But I love you all, and I want you to know the truth. So as we're working through this month, and it's very emotionally tough, remember that it's okay to see those emotions. Once we see them and we say, hey, yeah, I see you. Thank you for the lesson. Whatever, I love you, whatever, however you want to say it, it dissipates. That's the fastest way to get rid of intense, long-lasting, dense emotion that's been eating at your soul for 60 years. I did it this week a couple of times. It might come back. I don't know.
Well,
anyway.
You know, it's your shadow.
Right.
Peter Pan was crazy because he thought he lost his shadow. It wasn't following him around. Yeah. Remember, that's how he meets Wendy to begin with. Is you gotta, I'm using a bar of soap to try to make his shadow stick, and Wendy sewed it on for him.
I didn't know that. I know I must not. I wasn't a good little kid. I was a very serious, I had to be a very serious kid, and I was very grown up and just took care of. I had to do what I had to do. I never really played. I'm playing now. Like, I'm more kid now than ever.
That's right.
It's weird. I don't know.
Because now you're not having to take care of everybody else. When you were a child, you felt the burden and you were taking care of others.
Yeah. And and I mean, it is.
Thank you, Leah.
Well, guys, I guess we will see you in about a half hour on Allie's channel, on my channel, but with Allie. And we're going to talk some more energy, come in, ask some questions. We'll read some cards. Whatever you all want to do. We'd love to see you.
Yep.
Right. Are we done? We all done, Tanya? You got anything else?
Yeah, not for right now, because we'll just keep on going.
I know we will. We'll just go until 9 and we'll never stop. We'll just throw Allie on here.
I'm actually working on some salve, and I should stop right now for a minute and go take care of some of that. So I'll meet you back here in a half hour.
All right. We love y'all. Be safe. Hope to see you soon.